So today we are taking another look at Second Assault, this time Caspian Border, as it was the most requested map from you guys in my Operation Metro video. Now this is the first time I've had a good opportunity to experience this map. Of course, I did get to play it at the EA office in Guildford when we went to the Second Assault event, but we were playing on the Xbox One and we probably only played for about 10 or 15 minutes, so this is the first time I've had a full-length game on PC, 64 players on this map. And one of the first things I've got to say is look how impressive this map looks. It's probably one of the best looking maps in Battlefield 4. Now out of all the maps in Second Assault, it probably is Caspian Border that's seen the most striking change since Battlefield 3. Of course, now we see a much more heavily fortified border itself. In Battlefield 3, it was nothing more than a chain link fence moving down the centre of the map. Now we have this big concrete wall, these big gun towers with electric gates and electric shutters, and of course, the big radio tower itself has been relocated. Now, there are still remnants of the old radio tower behind me in the field where I'm standing now. You can still see crumbled remains of that. But there is now a much more larger radio tower around the sea flag. Now this tower itself is now accessible by a lift up to about halfway up, and then there's a big external ladder which I've not seen many players survive climbing just yet. They do tend to get sniped very early on. And of course it is this tower which is part of the Levolution. You can set a bomb which is underneath the tower, under the ground. After a 3-minute countdown, of course, that will detonate then and completely destroy the tower. Now I'll admit, during the lifetime of Battlefield 3, Caspian Border wasn't a map I often played, and if I did play it, it was usually team deathmatch around the D flag area with the houses and the petrol station. That area I think actually does work really well for TDM, and I do have some great TDM gameplay on a mixture of Second Assault maps coming for you guys tomorrow. But I never normally play big game modes, as you can see I am playing here, things like Conquest, Conquest Large. Now, I think that's probably because when I first joined Battlefield 3, I was a PlayStation 3 player, only 24 players, and Caspian Border was a very big map for only 24 players. And then when I moved across to PC, I'd already kind of made my mind up on which maps I preferred and which I didn't, so I never really went back to Caspian Border. So when I first heard about this map being featured in Second Assault, I was a little bit disappointed to not see things like Grand Bazaar or Sen Crossing, but then I thought, well actually I will give this map a second chance. I'll play it on large game mode, 64-man, Conquest Large, and see how this map plays. Now interestingly, when we first heard about this map making a return in Battlefield 4, and all of the Second Assault maps really, a lot of people were saying, well thank God we're going to see some decent rush maps back in Battlefield 4. But interestingly, once I've done server searches for these Second Assault maps so far, it actually looks like not a lot of people are playing rush, so it does seem like now with the damage done to rush in Battlefield 4 with the base game, people are avoiding this game mode now. All I could find was Conquest Large and Conquest on Caspian Border or Operation Firestorm. Now I could find a fair few servers playing Rush on Operation Metro, but it will be a shame if we no longer see these big maps more favourable for Rush, because when I did play Caspian Border on PlayStation 3, because of those smaller player counts, Rush did work a little bit better than these huge games of Conquest. So in my attempts to give this map a second chance, I thought I would try out my sniping. Now, I've told you guys before, I have never amounted to much when it comes to sniping, especially at long range. I did a video once where I was sniping on Flood Zone, and I was actually overwhelmed by the amount of compliments from you guys saying you did really well with the sniper rifle, all your kills were headshots, so I was quite pleased with that, so it's kind of spurred me on to keep trying to get better at sniping. As you can see, I have now got one favourable rifle that every time you see me snipe, it will probably be this gun, the SRR-61, which of course is great for big maps like this. The very fast bullet speed with hardly any bullet drop is great for these long range kind of sniper battles. Now as soon as I jumped on this map, I saw something that always makes me laugh. When you're fighting against other snipers, they automatically assume they need to be as high as possible to get those kills. And this is something we see in a whole number of maps. We see it very often in Hainan Resort. Lots of snipers sit on top of the hotel, but I have entire games where I actually sit very low down, hide in a bush somewhere, and you can kill hundreds upon hundreds of players who think the best position to be with a sniper rifle is as high as possible. And this map is no exception. The amount of players who take the elevator to the top of the tower, when actual fact all you're doing is making yourself a much easier target, because from that high vantage point every other sniper on the map can now see you, whilst if you take a low position like I'm here, maybe in a smaller tower somewhere else or hiding in the trees, you can see up into the tower, but it's going to take them a lot longer to spot you. So it always makes me laugh how snipers assume the higher position is the best, which isn't always the case. Now after having a fair few aggravating matches on this map, I have slowly got used to playing it again, and I have had some good games on it, so hopefully you should see more of this map on my channel in the future. There's nothing more annoying than having a whole plethora of maps to play and only playing a small portion because you just don't get along with those maps. So hopefully you'll see more of this map, probably some team deathmatch. If you haven't played TDM on this map, I do recommend it. It is actually a really good map for TDM. Now, when I first heard about Second Assault coming out, at first, I thought the only map I'm going to play on that is probably Operation Metro, so if I can get used to some of these bigger maps again, I'm going to try Gulf of Oman in the next few days as well, then hopefully I'll bring those to you on my channel as well. So hopefully in the future you will see a larger range of matches in my videos. Now recently on my channel you may have noticed I have been doing one video every single day. I've really cranked up the production rate. I'm probably not going to keep up that rate of production forever. Previously I was doing 2 or 3 videos a week, but I might try and do 4 or 5 a week. If you would prefer to see that level of videos, tell me below, or if you prefer to see 3 or 4, because I don't want to flood you guys with just too many videos in your sub box. One every single day can probably sometimes be a little bit much. So tell me below how many videos a week you think will be perfect to see from myself. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, all your ratings and comments really do support the video and help me out. But in the meantime guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.